Good morning, Pisces. Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, September 17th. And this is your tarot reading for September 17th through the 24th. Welcome to Tarot with Kat. Welcome if this is your first time. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back if you're returning, and thanks for coming back. So yes, we're going to be doing our reading. This is my new tarot channel. I've been doing tarot for decades. But it was finally time, especially right now, especially September 2025, was a very fortuitous time, I think, to take my tarot reading online. And so welcome to my new YouTube channel. I would so appreciate it if you do enjoy the tarot reading, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, would mean a lot to me. So I do, on this channel, every Wednesday, I do tarot readings for all the air and water signs. And then every Monday, I do tarot readings for the earth and fire signs. So with that said, before we get into our reading, I am not an astrologist by any means, but when you learn the tarot, you have to learn some astrology because it's all interconnected. The tarot is connected to Kabbalah, astrology, numerology. I will be linking at the end of this video a very, very short, brief explanation of tarot at the end of the video. So hang around to the end and check that out. It's not very long at all. That'll give you a little bit more of an explanation. But long story short, you cannot do tarot for a long time without being exposed to astrology. I could not sit down and draw your planetary chart for you if I had to. But I do understand that amazing, great things are happening this week for so many of us from an energy perspective. Yeah, and so this week especially, we've got two eclipses this month in September. We've got all kinds of planets in retrograde. We've got all kinds of interesting things happening and coming into like coordination and conjunctions that haven't happened in centuries. And it's opening up all kinds of doorways and portals and opportunities for big changes for a lot of people. You Pisces right now, you're in the middle of an eclipse season that is hitting your relationship axis really hard with your relationship. This is going to be a time where you are really examining relationships around you and how you cooperate, communicate, and collaborate with the people around you. The solar eclipse that's coming up on September 21st this week, the solar eclipse in Virgo is going to activate your seventh house of partnerships, which is your house of partnerships with people. And it's going to bring fresh starts, new alliances, and it could also be a reset on some of your existing relationships. So energetically speaking, cosmically speaking, that's what's happening for Pisces this week. So let's see what the tarot has to say. So this is our reading for Pisces for the week of September 17th through the 24th. All right, so I am using a Centennial Smith weight deck. I love this deck. It's the traditional Rider weight deck, but this one was redone, and the artist's name and the woman who came up with all the art and the majority of the ideas for the depictions on the cards, finally got her name on the deck. This is going to be you, Pisces, during this reading. Also, stay to the end and check out that short little video about explanation of tarot, because I go into more who this artist is. Don't be surprised if a couple random cards pop out, which are examples of her other artwork. The last reading I did, and it was pretty confirming and pretty cool. So Pisces, this week, you're being represented by my favorite card in the whole tarot deck, the Sun. The Sun card, probably my favorite. I don't really have a favorite. It all depends on what I'm going through in my life, which one I favor. Crossing you this week, Pisces, will be a Seven of Wands. Below you in your subconscious tool shed here, you've got the Devil, Pisces. You got the Devil. In your immediate past this week, what you're just stepping out of this week, we've got Death. Wow, Devil and Death. We've got it crowning you this week will be a King of Cups. King of Cups, wow. This makes a lot of sense with what I just said was happening with you cosmically. It makes a ton of sense. So you're crowned by a King of Cups. At the end of the week, you're going to be immediately stepping into your immediate future as an Ace of Cups. Oh my goodness. Crazy. I love this. Okay. Down here in your environment, you are feeling the Ace of Swords. Your environment is going to be giving you a Two of Cups. It's kind of exactly what I said. Your hopes and fears. In your hopes and fears is a Three of Pentacles. And then your final outcome is the Moon card for the week. Wow. Fascinating spread that actually, I don't know if it could jive too much better with what we talked about was happening cosmically right now with you, Pisces. So I like to pull one other deck out of here. This is also your traditional Rider-Waite images, and I use those for a reason. They help me interpret the cards the easiest out of any other tarot cards, number one, because of all the imagery and symbolism that is in them. They're holographic cards, so they're really cool, but they're very hard to see on camera. I love using, I was studying about holograms and quantum theory, and I was made to recall a story I'd heard, and I can't remember if it's from Kabbalah or from Buddhist reading that I read, but I do remember reading the story of Anana's net, the fisherman, the celestial fisherman, who, that's it. That's our confirmation card right there. The fisherman of the universe who lifts his net out of the water, and as he lifts the fisherman's net, everywhere that the net crosses, at every intersection is a bead of water. And we are each one of those beads of water on Ananya's net in the universe. But every bead reflects every other bead around it. And I think that's an interesting take on how we're all kind of connected and interrelated. And it's also how holograms work. It's really fascinating stuff. So anyway, I like to choose this confirmation card right here that we'll keep hidden until the very end of the reading. It'll give a confirmation of everything we've said, or a final comment on a final word on the spread of what we need to know going forward. And if at any time this is ringing true specifically to a situation in your life, Pisces, right now this week, and you have a guess as to what this hidden confirmation card might be, I would love it if you'd pop that down in the comment section below, and give me your guess, and then we'll see what it is at the very end. Okay. All right. So let's get into this reading. Pisces, this week you are represented by the Sun card. This is a beautiful card. You're just, you're full of life and love and happiness and joy and action. This is happiness in action, the Sun. Yellow represents happiness. Red represents action, as well as the motion of the card. I mean, the red scarf is flapping in the breeze, and the child is giddy. It looks like they're galloping on this horse, with the position of the child on the horse, and just feeling giddy happiness is representing you, Pisces, this week. Crossing you, however, is a Seven of Wands. So you may be feeling like you're getting attacked from different angles, maybe not even seeing where the attacks are coming from, but you are above it all. You're above it all and dealing with these attacks from different places this week, and that's kind of your challenge that's crossing you this week. And yeah, maybe trying to take some wind out of your sails or something there. So that is crossing you, all these challenges and obstacles that you're having to fight back and rein in. The sevens are associated with the seventh major arcana, which is the Chariot, which all involves taking those reins. Well, actually, he's not holding the reins. It's actually taking charge of things with his willpower. It's called card of willpower also, but it also has to do with charging forward in motion to make progress and by balancing things out. And so this is the Seven of Wands. So you're going to be battling some things that you're going to have to cope with and deal with, but it's not a big deal because you're going to overcome them through your sheer will of spirit. But that is your challenge for the week. Now, down here, Pisces, in your subconscious tool shed here, this And what I mean by that is these are things that have become a part of you, part of your foundation that you bring to every situation, and they come from just many far past experiences, or even past life experiences that you've carried with you and brought back that still need resolution. So so this is what you bring to the table already, so to speak, and we're coming up with the Devil card. And this Devil card is one of the darkest cards, and I don't know which is actually darker, this or the Tower. But it is a very dark card, because the Devil represents anything that takes you off that path, off of your fool's journey of enlightenment and progress, and derails it or helps you. That's presented by the Devil. It is often addiction. It's often alcohol or chemical addiction, but it could also be addiction to toxic relationships. It could be an addiction to just sitting there scrolling on your phone. It could be all kinds of addictions that like I said, undermine you. And so you have some of that in your past that you're struggling with, this Devil in your subconscious. And you probably haven't totally cast him off, or some of this stuff off, and so you're kind of carrying that with you. Carrying that with you this week. And so we have another one of the major arcana that likes to scare people besides the Devil and the Tower is our Death card. But it's funny, and the Death card, when it shows up, rarely means an actual death, but sometimes it does, or sometimes you're dealing with people who are going through that stage of life where they're at the end. Maybe somebody's suffering with cancer, or they're at the end of their life and you're helping nurse them, and so the Death card will come up because you're dealing with death. You're dealing with that whole process. It's not a very dark card though. Look, there's very little black on the Death card, just in that flag, but the horse is white, which is purity. He's riding off into a sunset, which is yellow, happiness. He's riding off into a new beginning, a new future. And this can also represent, usually it represents the dying away of old things, like a relationship, a marriage that has to end, or a friendship that has to come to a close, or, things like that. It could be death to an idea or a life philosophy that you've held forever, that through experience and wisdom has shifted and changed and is no longer, so that's died away. But the important thing in my mind with the Death card is the other people in this image. You have a number of characters here. You have an old woman, old person who's like laying on the ground prostrate. You have a child who's kind of just, baby's looking up at death, just kind of quizzically curious about death. You've got a holy man here, priest, or Sadducee or something, pleading with death, praying and begging and pleading with death. And so I think the whole point in this card is that it all depends on how you look at it, when you're going through these kinds of experiences, it makes all the difference in the world, the perspective you take toward it, as to how you're going to move through it. And so you're dealing with some sort of death situation in your immediate past, Pisces, this week, whether it's the death of a career, the actual death of a loved one, loss of a loved one, or loss of a relationship, or some loss of maybe a home that you've had all along that you've had to leave, or something along those lines in your immediate past. So crowning you up here is this King of Cups. So remember I said that this eclipse is going to be hitting your relationship axis really hard, and cups are all about relationships. They're all about emotional connection and love and feeling, and so ideally I think you want to be this King of Cups. It's crowning you. It's up here in what's crowning you, and the King of Cups is just totally in charge. He's in tune with his emotions and his intuitions, and yet he's in control of them. He's a nurturing king. He's considerate. He's and it's not necessarily he. This can be you. I'm just talking about this energy. Our cards are genderless, neither male nor female. So because it's coming up in your ideal, I'm thinking this is the energy of this card that's in your ideal, is to have that, bring that King of Cups energy to your partnerships right now and your fresh starts. You want that emotional intelligence because that's what you're going through right now, cosmically. Your immediate future is going to bring you an Ace of Cups, the overflowing relationships, love, and new connections, and a new relationship, a new or several new relationships, I think, because this is just overflowing with all kinds of emotional connections with people, is the Ace of Cups. So you're stepping into being able to do a lot of that and make those emotional connections. You've got another ace here for yourself in your environment. You're feeling an Ace of Swords. So swords are communication, reason, logic, thought. And you are feeling yourself in your environment this week like an Ace of Swords. You may be feeling very triumphant. It's also a card of triumph and victory. So maybe you're feeling victorious in your environment. Or maybe you're just like being a really skilled communicator right now this week in your environment. And your environment, like I said, is offering you a Two of Cups. Two of Cups is new friendship, new relationship, some sort of emotional, not necessarily it can be friends, it could be a new work relationships, new networks like that, new partnerships. It's all about partnerships, and the Two of Cups is the card of partnerships. And that's what's in your environment, coming up in your environment this week, Pisces. Your hopes and fears spot is holding for us a Three of Pentacles. And a Three of Pentacles is a card of apprenticeship and learning a new craft, education, learning new things, trying to become more skilled at something so that you can become more profitable at it. But it's also a card of like also being judged. Everything you're doing is being looked at and judged. These are some wealthy people who have commissioned this apprentice, this new artisan who's just learning his craft, and they're checking out what he's producing and doing. And so they're judging it. And so I'm feeling for you with what you've got going on everywhere else in your reading and your emphasis on these new partners and relationships that you fear, because this is in your spot of hopes and fears. I do feel that you fear some kind of judgment or feeling like the newbie in the situation. Maybe you're a new one to a group and you don't feel like you know as much, and maybe people are judging you. And I think you fear that judgment is what you fear. And that's why it's in your fear section for the week. And the final outcome for you for the week is this Moon card, which is another major arcana. It's our 18th major arcana. And it comes just before the star, before you, the sun. I mean, sorry, not the star. The sun, which is you. You are the sun. You're the, bright light, shining happiness. And your final outcome here, you're going to have a little bit of moon coming in, and that is paths unknown, hidden, paths that are hidden from you, secrets. And yeah, so I think it's going to be important. So you're going to have a lot of connections you're making, new friendships and new collaborations and partnerships. But you're going to be facing some unknown things and unknown paths and some secrecy and things that you're going to need to somehow navigate or get some insight. This is really a time to trust your intuition. So the King of Cups here in your ideal is also giving you advice of how to trust your intuition. That's also the King of Cups. He's in touch with his emotions, and he trusts his intuition, which will help guide you through these two towers toward the moon, toward what's waiting for you on the other side of this week, this crazy energetic week here. And yeah, so that is your spread. And now I'm curious about what our confirmation card could be. Do put a guess down in the comment section below if you think you know what it might be, if this is ringing true. I think I want it to be more further clarification on the moon card, this unknown path that's in your final outcome, advice how to proceed beyond that, or further advice about that. I'm very curious as to what this card could be. So let's check it out. And we have a Queen of Wands. I don't know how confirming this is for you. The Queen of Wands is in charge. It's a confirmation for me because I am the Queen of Wands right here. So what I am saying, believe me, what I'm saying is true. This rings true. The Queen of Wands, she's a fire sign. She is this nurturing woman who's very in charge of her home and her environment, and she's powerful. It's not necessarily she. I'm saying she because it's a queen, but remember, this also just refers to that energy. She is, like I said, very in touch with her home, loves animals, but she's got this black cat of hers right here, which is why I put this is an antique booklet here behind me with my black cat on my shoulder, because I feel that I am the Queen of Wands. She's very passionate. Wands are passion, fire. I'm the fire sign. I'm Sagittarius. Every zodiac sign has a matching court card, and this is my court card. I am the Queen of Wands. So anyway, I don't know how you want to take that as a confirmation or not. It might also be some further advice to you about you got your cups and your swords. The only pentacle that showed up was this fear of yours of being in the Three of Pentacles, and that I think that's less about finances and more about just judgment. So fascinating, interesting. So it could also be about what's challenging you this week. So you have as your challenge this Seven of Wands, all these things attacking you from everywhere. And this could be advice for you to be more like the Queen of Wands. You've got this. You've got all these little tasks in your command. You're above it. She literally is above it all. Like I said, you're above it all. And so this could be advice about be more like the Queen of Wands in this situation that's challenging you this week. Or just listen to me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'm going to be linking a video right here with that brief little explanation of tarot explained, and then maybe a little video down here with a little tour of my tarot space that I set up. I have one of those too, and I hope you'll check them out. I hope you already hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you hadn't, hit it now, please. That way this reading will pop up on your feed next week and you won't have to go looking for your next week's tarot reading, because I really want to hear back from you. I really want to see you all back here and hear how this went. Did this ring true? Have you been feeling that pull of like nurturing your partnerships and getting that all, straightened out, and has this ring true to you? And I can't wait to see what the next week's tarot reading holds for you as well. It's like a chapter book that you have to stop the chapter and then wait a whole week to read the next chapter. Yeah. So anyway, Pisces, you have a beautiful week this week. Thank you for visiting Tarot with Kat. And I hope to see you all here really soon. Take care.